Hello everybody, I'm the Go2Chef and welcome to my new series, The 5 Ingredient Challenge. In the 5 Ingredient Challenge, we're going to take cooking back to something basic. Now, we've all been there before, looking into the ingredients in our home going, what can I make with these? Well, don't worry, because each episode of the series, we're going to go ahead and take 5 ingredients and I'm going to transform them into a mouth-watering dish or a complete and amazing meal. From delicious main courses to delectable desserts, we'll explore a wide range of flavors and cuisines that prove that cooking doesn't have to include a laundry list of items. All it takes is a few ingredients and a sprinkle of creativity. We'll whip up some dishes that both leave you astonished and hungry for more. Here's the rules. I must take all 5 ingredients and incorporate them into the dish. But here's a twist. I won't be the one making the decisions on what the ingredients are. I'm going to let you, the viewer, decide. Once all 5 ingredients are chosen, I'm going to show you how to take the components and create a dish that is easy to replicate at home. So whether you're a seasoned chef or a kitchen novice just eager to learn something, the 5 ingredient challenge promises to be a unique and fresh experience for all. So join me weekly as we explore all the possibilities that you can make with just 5 ingredients. Alright, today we're going to use pork loin, almonds, radishes, strawberries, and mozzarella cheese. Alright, so if you're wondering what dish am I going to make today with this combination, I'm going to go ahead and make an almond crusted pork with a strawberry radish balsamic salad. Alright, so one of the first things we got to do is we got to make our almond crust. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw almonds into a little blender. We're just going to crush them up until it's kind of tiny so we have our crust. Now the secret when you're grinding up nuts like this, you don't want to crush them too long because then you can start turning into like a nut butter because of the heat and the friction from the blades. It causes the oils to turn the nuts into a somewhat of a nut butter. And if you're snickering because I'm saying nut butter, I'm sorry. I'm not sure how else to describe it. It is a very funny way of saying it, but I agree. I'm snickering a little bit on the inside too, but no, it's called a nut butter. All right. So now, before we start cooking our pork, we're gonna create the base to our strawberry radish salad here. Now, radishes are very, very strong and intense kind of flavored, not in the sense of like eating a hot pepper or anything. It's a weird combination of like a bitter and I'm not sure how else to describe the other flavor, but it can be quite offensive to some people. Some people love radish. Um, I'm not a personal fan of eating like a whole radish or anything, but slicing it up and adding it to something like strawberry and balsamic where you've kind of got a little bit of sweet, a little bit of tangy to kind of counterbalance that flavor. Yeah, I think it helps a lot. All right, and to add a little extra texture to the base of our salad, we'll go ahead and crush some of these almonds here. Not too many. All right, don't want to overload ourselves with almond on almond on almond flavor, but a little bit. It adds a nice little crunch with a little bit of nuttiness to the salad, and it's something I personally enjoy. And it's not that I'm necessarily looking for uniformity when I add the almonds. It's just something for the texture and the flavor. All right, and then just gotta prepare our strawberries to go in. What you're gonna see here is I'm just turning them into little not not so much julienne, not so much a bâtonnet, but I'm just making slices lengthways and crossways. All right, so we're gonna turn the pork loin into pork chops. Now, uniformity is kind of hard. So you see, I got my scale here. We're measuring up my pork. Okay, but you want to go for 4 to 6 ounce pork chops, right? I think about a portion's about 4.5 ounces. In grocery stores, they'll typically serve for about 4 to 6 ounce pork chops. You can cut them thicker if you want. You could cut them thinner if you want. It's really up to preference. I just prefer going with the standard serving size because it's good protein. It's not too fatty of a cut, especially when you take off the fat cap, as you see that I've already done. All right, so what we're gonna want is our little egg wash. Nothing too fancy. Okay, just a couple eggs, a little bit of milk, whisk it together, and then we have our ground. We have our almond ground. So we're gonna go ahead and assemble our crusted almond crusted pork chop now. We're gonna make sure we season the meat. Always, always, always season the meat. Right? I'd go with a little salt, pepper, garlic. Do this to taste, of course. Yeah, a lot of my recipes you see, I'm always putting to taste on it as opposed to actual measurements, and that's just because everyone's got different taste buds. So we like to do things to taste because maybe you want a more bold flavor. Maybe you don't like bold flavors. I don't know. But we like to just make sure we got a little bit of flavor on our meat. At least I like to season my meat some. I always prefer to adjust it a little bit just based on what I'm doing with it. And in this case, where I'm adding a little bit of almond crust to it, I just wanted to complement the almond crust. All right, not to insult anyone's intelligence here, but we're going to go ahead and dip it in the egg wash, and then we're going to dip our pork into the almond crust. Yes, I realize that my video shows the almond crust like super far away. Sorry, limitations. Maybe someday I'll have the budget big enough to go ahead and, show like one over every little thing. Yeah, I think it would look really cool, but budget constraints, as you can probably imagine. But check out them black gloves, though. The only reason I'm wearing gloves, one, kind of food safety, two, uh, it gets messy doing egg wash and crusting, and I don't want to stop every couple seconds because my fingers are all looking like little almond lollipops. All right, so once the almond is in the pan, obviously you want to put some oil in the bottom of the pan, uh, and preheat. This is important. Preheat your pan that you're cooking in. Make sure you got oil at the bottom, and then you want to do it at about a medium low heat. Okay, because almonds, when they burn, they get bitter, and you don't want a bitter almond flavor, and that it would just ruin the flavor of your pork. But what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and throw your once you've thrown your meat in, excuse me, you're going to go ahead and just cook it on a 4 to 6 ounce pork chop about 4 to 4.5 minutes aside in your pan. And once it's cooked, you just separate it out. Now we're going to finish up our salad now that the pork's cooked and we're letting it rest. And this is the part where we add the mozzarella cheese, right? You're probably like, why didn't you add the mozzarella cheese initially? Well, when you get the fresh mozzarella cheese, as opposed to the shredded, it comes in very watery, and you don't want that wateriness to dull to kind of dilute and dull out your flavors. So we give a final quick mix in there, and then we're just ready to plate. Now, what you didn't see me add in here is I did a side of macaroni and cheese. You can add whatever side you want. You could do potatoes. You could do rice. You could do mac and cheese. You can play with your sides on this one. I did. I just did mac and cheese because it was what I had in my pantry at the time. So we plate down our strawberry radish salad. We had our pork chop to the plate. And you're like, wait, where's the balsamic? And we use a balsamic glaze. We just spread a little bit over the top. Add whatever side you want on the, add whatever additional side you want, and just enjoy almond crusted pork with a strawberry radish salad.